Yo, 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 it's the Blue Raspberry Gamer here, just trying out intros, trying to see what sticks. But we are here for our first ever set review, and of course, we're looking at the upcoming set that, it's going to unify the world, change Digimon forever, maybe. And that is BT-21 World Convergence. Now, this set, I've got some opinions. I've got some things to say, and I've broken it up. We're gonna be looking at each thing in little chunks. So to start us off, I just want to look at the SRs, and I think my first big controversial thing is this set wastes a lot of space on these tamers. Look at this: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Nine tamers that take up SR or higher slots, and if we look at the rest of the SRs or rares or secret rares, there's less. There's less Digimon. Now, let me just tell you, everybody's favorite thing about the Digimon card game is the underage children, correct? Not the fun collectible monster partners. So, for one thing, we're starting off this big set that everybody loves with all these fan favorite things, and it's like, we're going to focus on the tamers. Great. So that's exactly what I want to be. Open up boxes, trying to get these fun tamers and alt arts of these tamers. No. For me, that's like a no. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll go into each of them and what they do when we get to their representative groups, but right off the rip, just looking at the big picture, it's like, man, that being the big focus of your set, kind of underwhelming. Consider me pretty underwhelmed at the start here. But, there's enough preamble to actually talk about the cards. And first, I want to talk about something that was actually interesting to me, and that being one of the Liberator decks, a new Liberator deck that we're getting. I love these libs. Love the libs, they represent here. And they're getting a little progressive. Ooh, save money on your car insurance, all that. But first we'll start off with the new Digimon egg. Specifically, he's a Liberator. He's for all this new Owen Dreadnought bullshit. And he's just, whenever a security stack is removed, you can Digivolve into Archetype for a reduced cost. So a lot of this deck is going to be popping your opponent's security stack, removing it, or just swinging and checking security, and then he'll be able to Digivolve up by one. I feel like that's a really strong egg for this. I think he's going to be doing a lot. You have to play it. This is the deck, the egg for the deck. So, it's the first egg, the only egg we've got. Then you have your two rookies. We have Agumon, the lesser of the ones, gives 2k DP, inheritable, and on play, grab something from trash. Fine, you're going to have to play him because, again, you don't really have much choice. Let's just go up the Agumon line first, the less interesting one. We have Cyclonemon. Digimon I haven't really seen much of, to be honest. I don't know. What's this guy's deal? Why does he look like that? But I digress. He has the great security effect, play him after he does battle, and then he has an on play. So, right, he'll do his battle, on play, pop a 4k or less. Pretty alright. And then his generic DP gain, 2k. And then we have the interesting Cyberdramon. No Justimon support here. He has the trait, so he's searchable with all your shit, and then he has an on play and when Digivolving. If your opponent has 5 or fewer security, they take one card from their hand, add it as the bottom, and then trash their top. First off, kinda weird. You're allowing your opponent to place anything in their security, so they don't have to show you that. They just place a card. So, right, they're loading up whatever they want into their security, with the downside of they're going to be trashing one of their security, and then you could potentially use the egg to Digivolve or do the other effects that you'll see. And then the top end for this Agumon line will be the very, very fun Wargreymon. He has the really weird effect that he can reduce. He's like Death Exmon, where you reduce cost for every opponent's Digimon, but not Antamers. So it's by 2. So you're going to need at least, 5 Digimon on their side to get them to cost 1. And then 6 Digimon for free. Kinda, that's a lot. That's a huge ask. So you're probably not going to be getting them for free very often. But he's got 3 keywords. Great. We love keywords here. Stack them keywords on him, make him super strong. Rush, great for his reduced play cost. If you're ever gonna, if you ever can. I guess if you're playing like Diaboramon, right? I know the deck does. This deck will be playing tokens onto your opponent's side of the field, so you're kind of wanting that. But you're also deleting those tokens pretty quickly. So I don't know. I just think you're not gonna be. You might be hard to developing into him more than you would think. He is just the other level 6, so for now you will just have to play him. And when things are deleted, when your opponents do want to delete, he just unsuspends once per turn. Alright. Now the actual meat and taters. The new Digimon, Elizamon. Well, look at this little thing, I guess. Not really sure how I think about the design. It looks kind of sassy and judging you, but it's the generic Liberator, search 3, grab 2, right? They're great searchers. They grab a Liberator, which is most of the deck, and a Reptile or Dragon. So that's going to be like the Agumon line, or itself. So all the Liberator searchers do the exact same fucking thing. It's just search 3, grab 2 cards, great advantage. You're always going to be one playing those. And then it has a great inheritable, which says gain 1. Everybody loves inheritables to say there's 2 inheritables that are great in Digimon, in my opinion, and they are gain 1 memory and draw a card. So, right, there's a wow, we're gaining 1 memory. It's weird, doofy looking level 4 Dime Tromon. I'm gonna say it wrong. Correct me in the comments, please. When did Digimon play a tamer? You play your Owens, right? Oh wow, love that. Love that. Play that Owen Dreadnought for free. And then it also has the gain of memory when a sec is removed. Then the level 5, which is having, looks like some afternoon tea, some little tea cakes. Weird little lizard freak thing. But she has the new progress keyword, which, yep, it's very progressive. It's when you're attacking, your opponent's effects don't affect this Digimon. So it's, remember that stupid little red option that said no? Well, this one just says no, right? We're doing no more. And it's, okay. It's a pretty strong form of protection. It will, now correct me if I'm wrong, I believe if you have things like DP minus, they won't affect you while you're attacking, but if, say, you hit something gives minus 8k after you're done attacking, you will die from that. But for the most part, it's a pretty strong, like, attack effect, a pretty strong form of protection. And then when any of your attacks change, you trash a sec, which is good because it's going to trigger your 2 guys to gain memory if you hopefully have them in the stack. And this has the inheritable. Level 5s usually get interesting inheritables. Level 4s and 3s and lower usually get DP, gain 1 memory, draw 1, that sort of stuff. This one has the when a sec is removed, you may play one of your guys with 5k or less from hand, which is pretty good. You're going to be playing probably Cyclomon. I guess you could play Dimitrimon. You could play, I'm thinking these 3 are who you'll be playing off this effect, because they're going to gain you advantage on playing them. But that leads us to our big, the SR, which I will always say these are the cards you want to build the decks around. Usually when Digimon's designing cards, the secret rares are going to be secret rare, super rare. I actually don't. Oh, super rare. Whoops. But she's got progress, so unaffected, and sec +1. Love that. Any card that says sec +1 usually pretty strong, and especially if it has this unaffected and can gain massive DP. Let me just look at Cyberdramon. 4k, crazy. That'll be your 16k attacking for 2 checks. Then when digivolving, so if you're doing like your digivolving shenanigans of going in, bam, you go into the level 6, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. Pretty strong deletion effect. Then, when any of your guys are deleted, you play this petrification token. You're Medusa, you're making things into stone. That has the effect of when it's popped, trash the top security, which really combos well with the older Owen Dreadnought, because when a security stack is removed, you'll trigger her first to play this token, do all this shit, then trigger him to pop said token, trashing another security, which, you can lead to like 3 checks. Pretty good. So she's just kind of a strong level 6. I think like you're gonna be you keep playing those tokens too. Just whenever a security attack is removed once per turn, they're gonna have those stupid little tokens that they can't really do anything about because they can't suspend, and you just keep popping them. And then we have the new Owen, where a classic, 3-cost tamer, gain 1 memory if your opponent has a Digimon at the start, and then the end of your turn, when you tap him, one of your reptiles gains piercing and can attack. So you can always Digivolve up, as long as you have him. You can, like, say you just have your level 5 push out, oh, you're passing turn by Digivolving to Medusa. It doesn't matter. You can still swing. So he's a really good enabler for the deck to do your shit. And then we finally have the Raging Serpentine option. 8 cost reminds me of Levia's option, as it's a 8 cost thing that deletes a Digimon and then has a delay effect. And this has the fun delay effect when a security is removed. You're seeing a pattern here. Delay, you can Digivolve into any of your guys without paying the cost, which is pretty strong. It's sad that when this comes out of security, it won't, play out. So you will have to play this for 8, unless your opponent has 3 or fewer security cards. You can play for 4. So with that, I think this might actually see a lot of play in the deck, because you can reduce the cost as the game goes on, especially since you're checking a lot of security pretty early with this deck, and getting those checks in, trashing security is pretty important. So I think you'll be able to play this for 4 more often than not. And then coming out of security, it still just pops the highest DP, which is a pretty strong security effect. So, overall, I think this is a pretty fun and interesting deck. It will suffer from what every Liberator deck suffers from, is that they come out pretty strong with these usually 2 lines of Digivolution, and then you wait and you get piecemeal support, and then you hope it's good. Sometimes it's okay, and then you're just kind of left like, oh man, are these ever going to be good? Like the Aqua weird Sang whatever deck. No, they probably won't, because they don't care. So, but a strong start for the Medusomon Progress deck. On the flip side of that, we have Owen's boyfriend, rival, I think, Zenith. So, more support for Vemmon. Everybody loves Vemmon. At least at my locals, we have a big support for this little guy. We're giving him the Diabora egg in this time. He gets 4 or more. When he has 4 or more Vemmon in stack, which if you know the deck, you're stacking these Vemmons up, doing a bunch of shit. He gets a lot of DP. 3k is pretty strong. I don't know. For an egg, you probably play this because it's working with the archetype. But, it doesn't say draw a card or gain a memory. So, to me, right, the best eggs say draw a card or gain a memory. This doesn't say either, so it's kind of a little lackluster in that end. DP's fine. We have a grab a guy from trash. Vemmon. I don't know. No. He's trash a Vemmon and then grab a guy. Okay, I guess. I always thought with this deck you wanted more shit in trash. And then he has the classic inheritable for this deck, which if you've seen these cards, when you Digivolve into a card with Vemmon attacks, reduce cost by 1 for every Vemmon, because you're going to be stacking a bunch of these little goobers, and then having the cheap cost. Over level 4, Liberator doesn't say play a Tamer, which is quite shocking, to be honest. He instead searches the top 3 cards of your deck, adds a Vemmon to the hand, and then you can place 2 Vemmon from your trash under sources, or under another source, but you're probably going to be doing this one. It's also nice because when you reveal these cards, you're going to trash the rest, so if you hit Vemmons, you're going to be piling up more in trash. Seems pretty strong, but still no way, I think, in this deck, unless I've missed waves of support, that play Tamer for free. He's a Liberator, right? Weird. Digimon loves Liberator level 4 play Tamer, but the Vemmon deck is a weird one. And then when any of your cards with Vemmon are returned to the bottom of the deck, you delete a 4 cost or less. A lot of Vemmon effects, their cost will be bottom deck 2 Vemmon sources. So while this guy is in source, when you bottom deck, you will be getting an extra effect. Pretty similar to, I think it's him. He has this, yeah. When your opponent attacks by returning 2 Vemmons to the bottom, they don't. So you end the attack. Reminds me of Belphemon. It's pretty, just combos with this, so you'll be stopping an attack, popping something little. And for his main, main big boy effects, he can Digivolve and De-Digivolve for every 2 Venmons in your stack. And he gains a protection from Source Stripping. So, all your stack cards are protected, which is pretty strong for Venmon because you do want you want to keep your Venmons for the most part until you want to start burning them. The deck's theme is usually like building up those resources to then spend. Right? This is all like pretty normal, pretty whelming if you ask me. And then you get Galactimon. When Digivolving, place 4 with Venmon in text from bottom right, load them up, and then you may use 1 Ragnarok Cannon. Okay, well, who cares? That's it? Start of your turn, delete one of your Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Cool. And then he has the protection by bottom decking 4 Venmon from sources. He doesn't leave. You're like, okay, if you're just to read this, you're like, cool, I guess. Some more Galactimon cards, or maybe I play the old one still. This one's alright. Right, you look at Zenith, you're like, okay, memory setter. And then he's kind of like Davis, where he's a memory setter with a search, but his search does a little bit more where he plays the Venmon and then adds a Venmon in text to hand, which is pretty good with this deck because you're going to be playing a lot of those Venmon. So you're going to hit more often than not with this. So you're going to be gaining a lot when this guy gets played, especially if he gets popped out of security. You're doing all this. Really nice. So, right, you're like, okay, it's some solid support. And then you read Ragnarok Cannon. Ragnarok Cannon is a really funny card. So you'll play it off Galactimon, and then you'll delete one of your guys with the lowest level. So you're deleting highest and then lowest. You're clearing a lot of B4. Like, you're okay. I mean, that's not too bad. But then, it's delay effect. When one of your Galactimon attacks, delete one of your opponent's Digimon to the lowest levels. Hopefully they don't have any, because if they don't, you trash all of your opponent's security until they have 1 card left. So it's a crazy, crazy funny card that's going to tear through of people, and you're pretty much setting them on a turn, like a timer. Once you go into Galactimon, you get this option out. If they can't flood the field to where you can't, you're going to be popping these guys, they're going to lose the game. At least they're going to get all their security checked and just destroyed. And it's a pretty funny effect. If this Ragnarok Cannon wasn't printed, I think this would all be pretty mid. But this card is so funny. I don't think this makes the deck good, but I think it makes it much. It gives it some sauce, right? That's what we want here. These like updates to older decks, we want a little bit sauce, a little bring them up to speed, right? So I think that definitely helps. But I don't know. This guy's supposed to be the world champion, and he won with this. That's okay, I guess. We'll see. For right now, this is pretty strong support. We'll probably be seeing more since Liberator keeps seeing stuff, which I'm happy because I love Liberator. Love all these liberals. Get them, keep printing more cards. They're usually pretty fun. And these 2 decks definitely answer that. On to the other themes of the set, which we have protagonist. Every protagonist gets something. And first we have Shine. Ooh, do I see a new egg that says draw 1? I do. Koromon, baby. Koromon gets all the best eggs. He keeps getting them. And here's another Koromon here. He's a yellow Koromon, so if you want to do yellow base, Shine Gray, here's an option that lets you draw cards. Great. Here's an Agumon that warps. You'll see a couple of these rookies that can warp. This one specifically when your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon, or you have 3 hero Trainers. You're not going to do that, right? I don't know. You could, right? You look at all these cards and you go, well, actually, the hero deck has some legs. Sure, man. I don't see it. But he can warp into Shine Greymon for 4. Pretty good. Especially if you're playing against like something like Demon Lords or Royal Knights, who are almost always going to have a level 6 on field. You can just go straight up. And he has a, 2k DP inheritable. Cool. Geo. When any of your Marcuses are played, he digivolves into a Rise for free. Ooh, that's pretty strong. You can go into him in Raising, push out, play out a Marcus, and then digivolve up. Pretty strong. And then, again, generic 2k inheritable. Who cares? Let's look at the Rise that you're digivolving into. When you digivolve, one of your Marcuses becomes a Digimon, yada yada, gains Russian Alliance. So you'll be swinging with that Marcus, probably using Alliance on this stack, and then he has the Rise Greymon Classic, when a when any of your tamers are pretty much deleted, you can place a Marcus from trash to top security, and that's his inheritable as well. But pretty strong, I think, especially going from Geo Gray into this Alliance 2 checks and having a tamer out and showing up for free. I think that's all like super cool, super strong. I've not ever been really a big fan of almost any of the protagonist decks, but this is definitely some good support for this. And then we have the Shine Greymon himself, which I think is a little underwhelming, which kind of is the theme for a lot of these new hero decks. They kind of start good and then they end on these boss monsters because the rares or the SR slots are being taken by the tamers. So they're going to be crazy, but the boss monsters aren't so crazy. He has raid, pretty good, and then when digivolving when attacking, you can delete one of your opponent's 9k or less. Okay, cool. I know classically Shungray does a lot of DP minusing, so that 9k isn't too small, and you will be able to do this every time you attack. And then he has a second when attacking. If you tap a tamer, you gain sec +1 and 3k. All right, I guess. I'm not a super, Shine Gray player, so I don't know if this will replace any of the other ones. I don't think so. I know the one Shine Gray gives protection, and the other one, I don't remember. I think he plays a Marcus or something, which seems better. So I don't know. Pretty underwhelming, Shine Greymon. And then the Marcus SR, he's got to be good, right? Right? 4 cost. Not a memory setter. Okay. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1. So he's like the 3 cost ones, but he cost 1 more. Cool, to gain 1 memory at the start of turn. Maybe. On play, you may suspend a Marcus. Sometimes that's pretty strong. Like you can, if you play him off an effect, tap one of your other Marcuses that digivolves up, that might be pretty good. And then when he gets tapped, one of your guys gains piercing and 3k. And then give minus 3k. So right, you're really like comboing that with this Shine Gray. You're like, oh, pop a 9k. Just kidding, we mean a 12k because you're going to be given some minus 3, right? So it's decent removal, but I think like for an SR, that's pretty underwhelming. You know what I mean? Like that's not that strong. What do you mean? That's it? Okay, cool. That's going to take up an SR slot. And we have an option, which every hero gets his option. I mean, pretty much every deck gets an option, at least one. I think this option is pretty strong. So you turn one of your Marcuses into a 12k Digimon. They can't digivolve, blah, 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 gains rush, then it can attack your opponent's Digimon, which is fun, because it can attack any Digimon. So you're just barreling into any Digimon and probably deleting it, because when he suspends, one of your Digimon can gain piercing and 3k. So right, then minus 3k. So I can see the synergy here. I think this is a pretty funny option, especially with the security effect of playing a Marcus from hand or trash without playing the cost, then add this to hand. I think this will definitely get played. I mean, I would because it seems really fun. Love the TV show art of just the classic punch the shit out of each other. Great. The champion ultimate fighter. Great. Love that. I think this will get played. I think this helps Shine Greymon a lot. I think this will make it relevant. Will it be super relevant, like tier 1? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a future predictor, not a fortune teller, but I think it will help. On to another guy that gets a lot of support, Gamamon. Famously, I do not like Gamamon. I think he looks goofy, and he digivolves into too many different Digimon of different colors. Right? I don't know about that. But his egg do say, draw 1. Gurimon, draw 1. Ooh, you do have to have Gamamon in its text when attacking, but if you're playing the Gamamon deck, you will, so great. You're going to be, every time you attack, you're going to be drawing a card. Love that. He is also a warper. He warps when your opponent, or why you have 2 or fewer security. So while you're on the back ropes, you can warp up into a serious mon, which is pretty strong, and he also gives 2 KDP. The art is kind of cute, but still, I just don't know. Gamamon rubs me the wrong way. He looks kind of goofy. Not a huge fan. We have Gulu Gamamon. He has the security effect. Love the security effect. Play without playing the cost. He comes out. Then on play, you can tuck a Gamamon from hand or trash as this guy's sources to pop a 4 cost. And then retail. as an inheritable. Pretty good. I think this is like a pretty strong card. He's split colors, purple. I don't know if that really matters, but retail inheritable, playing out, and tucking source. I think all pretty strong. He also tucks the source when digivolving too, so it doesn't matter. You're getting that effect no matter what. Our other level 4, Bedel Gamamon, play tamer. Ooh, when digivolving, play tamer. Ooh, okay. Great, great. Love that. That's very strong. Very, very strong. Under our level 5s, we have Regulumon. When digivolving, you trash a Gamamon, give one of your opponents Digimon in collision, and they have to attack at the start. Okay, you're like, if you're like me, you read this card for the first time, you're like, huh? What are they doing? But when, you combo with this, you'll have retail in the sources. So they swing, you have to block. You block with this guy. He gets deleted, which he has a pretty similar effect, not as strong as his main on deletion, where you can play a Cannon Weiss or level 4 with Gamamon. His inheritable play level 4 with Gamamon. So first off, I know this deck has a couple ace targets in the level 6 slot. So, right, you can ace as soon as they attack, or let the attack happen, delete, and play Cannon Weissmon. Well, what does Cannon Weissmon do? Well, thank you for asking. When you digivolve or play, you can tuck a Gamamon and then delete a 7k or less. That's it. That's what I mean, when I read this, I was like, okay, I guess. And he has the great all turns protection. You can trash 3, Gamamon, text, he doesn't leave for his inheritable. But still pretty underwhelming, I think. Like, oh, I think that's like neat. It might work well with one of the other Canon Weissmons, but this one's like, okay, play him out, and now you just have a level 5 with one source. Great. And we have our new level 6 Seriousmon, Sec +1 and Raid. Okay, make sure, hopefully you have like the green guy that gives piercing underneath. But when he digivolves and when attacking non-once per turn, place a card with Gamamon in its text underneath, and then delete one of your guys' Digimon, or delete an opponent's Digimon with lowest DP. That's, I mean, if I don't know anything about the deck, that seems strong. But again, it might not fix everything the deck needs fixed. I'm not the forefront runner on this weird star lizard, but that seems fine to me. But keyword being fine, right? It doesn't seem like this doesn't excite me, right? Not like a crazy card, but it might be if you're a Gamamon guy. We have a delay option, the strongest of brothers. You reveal top 3, add a Gamamon, then bottom deck the rest. Okay, nice search effect, and then its more important effect of its delay. When an effect places a Digivolution card under your guy, you may Digivolve for free. That is pretty strong. So that is kind of what is helping the Cannon Weiss. He'll be doing his thing. You die as Regulu, go into Cannon Weiss, play a guy under, pop the delay, then you're in Sirius for free. That's like a lot, right? You are asking a little bit here. You're asking like, okay, all the stars need to align, with this star deck. But here's the real meat, of course, the SR hero. Gain a memory, 4 cost, gain a memory, 1 memory. I know that. Look, some people will argue that it is strong because memory setters only put you to 3, and your opponent, you already have memory setters for this deck, so you will be probably playing this tamer, but it's just, is it that good? When an effect places a Digivolution card under, gain a memory and draw. I don't know. Does that get you excited? Does that make you want to play Gamamon again? To me, it's like, oh my god, my battery freaking out. But to me, this is not exciting. This is like boring. It makes you a little bit more consistent, but it's just not what I expect in SR. I expect SRs to make me want to build a deck, want to play like this cool new thing. Like, look at what this card does. When I read this, it's like, okay, yep. Does that really fix what Gamamon does? I don't know. Gain a memory and draw, that's pretty good. Time will tell. Next, we have a pretty interesting deck. It's one of these new Digivice decks. This is the Wind Guardians, the WG. A lot of bird and plant guys. We have Yokomon for the egg. Draw one, great. When any of your guys gets played, so it's a little less consistent in just like when attacking. But you will be playing stuff with these. These decks are all pretty similar, like the Nightmare Soldiers and the Deep Savers. They're mixed colors. You get a level 6 and a ace, and you DNA into a level 7. We don't. That's not in this set, so we don't really have the full potential. But they're all kind of following the same theme. I kind of like these decks. I think they're fun. I like that they use a lot of different Digimon, a lot of ones you won't usually see. So I don't know. I've played them up until now, and none of them have been good. I don't think this one's going to be the one that breaks the mold, but it could be. I think with more cards, maybe down the line and a different set, we could. But for now, we have Floramon, Searcher, great. Right, he searches. Add a card with the traits you're going to be seeing, and add a card with the normal trait. Bottom deck to rest, jamming. Another blue guy with jamming. Wow, how original. For other level 3, we have Mushroomon, on play Tap a Digimon. Okay, cool. And he has piercing. Great. It's like, that's pretty strong when you see like what the other shit the deck's doing. When this guy suspends, draw one. So, you go Floramon, he got jamming, tap, draw one off the Yokomon. And then he also has jamming himself. So if you didn't get it off the level 3 stack, you can get it from level 4. Great. On the opposite end, we have Woodmon. I've got some Woodmon right now, if you know what I mean. Looking at this guy. But on play, tap a Digimon. And then when any of your opponent's Digimon are played, if this guy's suspended, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Interesting. I don't know how good that is, but it is, it's a different effect. And it gives piercing, so both the level 3 and 4 pairs just share the same inheritable. We get into level 5s that do a little bit more. Daramon, love this guy. I think he was in like Digimon World DS where I saw him, and I was like, oh, I mean, of course he's in the anime, but who gives a shit about the anime? And he's kind of annoying and funny looking. Love him. But he's got evade, nice keyword, and then on play when digivolving, one of your guys may unsuspend. So you can do the go into level 4 swing, gain your draws, go into him, he unsuspends, you can swing again. It's pretty strong. On the other end, and then he has the great new blue inheritable that you're seeing in so many blue cards. You can't change the attack target. Bet when Galaxy Loop just keeps getting more shit. Love it. Cherrymon. He is a sleepy boy, as you can see. When you play him or Digivolve, tap a Digimon, and then on your opponent's turn, he can redirect into one of your Digimon, just one of your WGs, which is pretty strong. Like, reminds me of the old Cherrymon where you can redirect into any suspended guy, but he's just for all of your deck, it will be into them. And then he has got the inheritable. When you play one of your WGs, you can tap one of your opponent's Digimon. Not too bad. So we have our DNA level 6, who can just go off the guys, hinting at what the other colors of the deck will be, yellow and red. But he can play a level 4, which combos well with the egg, get you your draw. And then when attacking, one of your other Digimon may Digivolve, which is great because you Digivolve up into him, swing, play out like Woodmon or whatever, and then you Digivolve up into Cherrymon, and you have that kind of protection. Or you Digivolve into Daramon, and you unsuspend yourself, maybe swing again if you have the memory for it. You probably don't. And we have our ace, Puppetmon, who reboot blocker. When he does his thing, Digivolve 2, and then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Notice you were suspending a lot of shit with your guys, so especially if you do your Griffinmon combo, go up into Cherrymon, you're suspending something, you'll have a target for Puppetmon. All pretty strong, especially Griffinmon's playing guys. He can DNA, so you'll be, if you have 2 targets, you can go in for free, right? Do his shit. pretty decent start to WG. And we have, of course, our Wind Guardians option. Like all the other ones, it becomes a field spell, pretty much. Digimon's version is field spells, where it goes to your bottom of your security. All of your WGs gain Vortex. Now that is interesting, right? They can attack into suspended Digimon at the end of your turn. So again, you're seeing a theme here. You're playing a bunch of suspended guys, swinging into them. And then it has the generic, when this gets checked in security, play level 5 or lower, which is very helpful, especially when these all have on plays. You know, this deck you will not play at all until we see what's next, but a pretty strong start. So collect these cards probably while they cost less than a penny. I think, right, the stores are paying you to take these cards off their hands. On to another meaty section, and one that has me a little interested, right? Eyebrow raised. The Atmon. Now, I ain't never seen no Atmons before. I know I've heard of them. Shoot me, I guess. But when looking at this set and seeing the reveals, this has been a lot of the first time seeing these Digimon. I know people famously used to be like, these aren't Digimon. You tell me this thing's not a Digimon? Look at that. It looks like a Digimon to me. That's a Digimon. Yeah, could have fooled me. Right? But they're not, they're Atmons. This is the new, like, Hunters cross-war style deck. It's got the link mechanic, which is very complicated. Go look that up. I'm not explaining the intricate details of linking here. But egg say draw one when you get linked. Hugely important for this deck because linking is technically losing a card from your hand. So hand size be damned in this deck. You're going to be running out of that. So being able to link and then draw a card, very helpful. You have 4 rookies of different colors. First Watchmon, on play and when linking. Until the end of your turn, one of your opponent's Digimon can't attack the player. Can still attack the Digimon, but not the player, and gives plus 2k for his link. Navimon, your searcher, you'll be grabbing an Atmon and Tamer. Bottom deck the rest. His link is piercing and 2k. All the level 3s give 2k. Gachamon, he is your protagonist guy. Look at this guy, looks a little boofy. You know, I'm not sure about this thing on his head or his weird little hat, but he's fine, I guess. When he gets linked, if you have one or fewer tamers, you can play it. So you're getting the tamer play effect on the level 3, and his linking ability, Raid. Then we have you'll see a lot of these Digimon have a security effect of playing them out, which allows you to get bored pretty good. So that's pretty nice. That's what little Calendarmon does, or Calendamon, sorry. And then his linking, all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3k. Not that good, but, you know, he's here. Our level 4s, Timemon. He app fuses, which is pretty much Digicrossing and DNAing, kind of in this weird package, off of Watchmon, Savemon, and Calendmon. You'll see Savemon doesn't exist yet, so you'll be doing it off of these two. And he de-digivolve. Right, he's a blocker normally, and then he de-digivolve when he gets linked, and then when linking, he de-digivolves. So pretty strong. I like this guy's design. Future, right? I love that. We have Gossipmon, our purple level 4, who plays out at the end of security battle, and then he grabs shit from trash, which pretty good. You're gonna want to get your pieces back, so it's nice that he will give that even when linking. Pretty similar. You'll see a lot of like these Digimon have the same when digivolving and when linking effects, so you're always going to be activating this. And then all the level 4s give 3k, just strong. So to me, I think about links as their one really, really strong inheritable effect. Well, they'll have an effect and a big DP number. But he doesn't digifuse, so you're mainly going to be using him to link. Or just digivolving, like just digivolving on him for 2 doesn't feel too bad. We have Dogachamon, the protagonist guy, going off the green and the red rookie for his fuse. He has rush, raid, really strong. And then when he gets linked, he can attack, so you can link to pass turn and attack. Again, that's like a pretty strong guy. And then when linking, again, attacks. So when you attach him to one of your other guys, boom. Kariz, oh no, not Kariz, that's the next guy. Sociamon. Love this art. Look at his weird long nose and mustache. I have no idea what this guy's doing, but he comes out of security on play minus 2k to something. That's okay. Then his when linking minus 2k. He's okay, right? I think you're going to get the most advantage for him when he comes out of security or when you link him with Gossipmon to fuse into Charismamon. Although you're not usually don't want to go into this guy, I think. You want to go into Glowmon, but this guy's a blocker who, when you Digivolve, hopefully for 0, you may link from your trash, or this guy's sources, so when you do the, when you use Gossipmon and Associamon, you can then turn one of them into a link, and then when he gets linked, give your opponent the start of the turn they have to attack, which then he can block. Not the strongest, and then his link effect is pretty strong when he would leave the battle area, trash one of the Digimon's link cards, and it doesn't. So normally you'd be trashing itself because you can only have one link, but that's more, I think, what this card does. Like the level 5s both give 4k, and he has a protection effect. Pretty strong. Our other level 5, I think, our better one that you're going to be going into has, he goes off of the protagonist guys, the Taimon and the Dogach. He has Sec +1. Okay, love that. And then you may link. Oh, we notice a pattern here. Link from sources or hand. And then when he gets linked, pop a guy with as much DP as this guy. So you should be popping a 13k or less, because if you're linking a level 4 here from your sources, he'll be 13. Crazy. That is a crazy strong deletion for just a level 5. He's kind of a level 6. They're both kind of like good enough, I would say, to be normal level 6s. I mean, he is an SR that's pretty powerful, and you're like, okay, wow, that's all pretty good. There's more. You're level 6, who fuses off of these two. Link +1, so he can link 2 cards. He's a blocker. When Digivolving, you may link from your hand or the Digimon card, so you'll probably relink Charismamon or something to give him protection. Then, when this Digimon gets linked, unsuspend him and trash your opponent's top security. And you can do that once per turn. If you know linking, you can just keep doing it. So every turn you can trash the security. Wow. He is a pretty strong level 6. It's a shame he's the only level 6, so you're going to have to play 4 of him, and you're going to want to see him. Look at this guy, this god-looking Digimon, and that's a protagonist Digimon, if you ask me. But it's going to be tough to get him at being a secret rare, so hopefully he's not too expensive. Our option for this deck, App Link, search, grab a Appmon or Tamer, trash the rest. Then when you link one of your end of turn, you can link. Great delay effect for this deck, especially when all the links do shit. End of turn, you can attack with Dogachmon. When he gets linked, he trashes security, unsuspend, so you can swing. Then end of turn, link, trashes security, unsuspend, attack. Pretty strong. Your Tamer is the only Appmon Tamer you have, so you're going to play like 4 of them. Memory Setter, when you get linked, tap to draw. Then, the Digimon may app fuse. So, if you do the thing, you pay the cost to link, you pass turn, tap this, app fuse, and then you keep going, kind of. Pretty strong. I think the Appmon's off to a really strong start. It helps by having just a bunch of Digimon, a bunch of cards in this set that are decently strong. I think its drawbacks are going to be its draw power, and then needing a lot of names. Like any X-Cross DNA style deck, it's very name reliant. So you're going to need to see the exact pieces. I can see scenarios where you have all the Calendmons, but not the Gotchmons or Navimons, and you're just kind of up shit creek without a paddle. Onto our very special you will be seeing this on a deck profile as soon as I can get my grubby hands on these cards. The Musketeers Appmon support. So, right, not only do we have all these Appmon, we have 3 more. Again, I don't know what they're from in Appmon. Who knows? You could tell me anything. You could leave a message on this video right now, being like, "These are from episode 2, where the..." Yeah, I don't care. Who cares? But we have Shotmon. He's here. He's our new Musketeer rookie. He's great. On play. Trash archetype to Digivolve. And then his link, which I don't think you'll be doing as much in the Musketeers. I don't know. We'll see. I'll get my chef hat on and be cooking up a deck profile for this as soon as these cards drop. I'm thinking about it right now, but we'll see. Pretty good. Just another rookie for the deck. Digivolve's a very strong formal removal, which all three of these are kind of, or these two are kind of de-digivolving. This, the best piece of support the Musketeers is getting, he can, when digivolving or on play, you place an Musketeers card, or an Atmon, I guess, under him, and then you gain a memory. Crazy. So you're digivolving for practically one, loading up an option which could trigger the old Musketeer's egg, gain another memory. Love that. And then is when linking, which you actually might want to use, draw 2, trash 2. Ooh, pretty powerful. Now keep in mind, if you are playing this in the Musketeers deck, you're only going to be able to link to any of these guys, because they're the only Atmon. But still, a draw 2, trash 2 is pretty nice. And then the level 5 with much text. When digivolving on play, you can place an Atmon or musket, so you're probably going to be doing muskets, hopefully, as the bottom source, and then you gain protection from return effects and de-digivolve effects. Ooh, that's nice. And then he gets a second when digivolving or when attacking. You can trash a card in sources to de-digivolve. Again, pretty strong. And then his link, delete a level 4. These cards are great support for Musketeers, I think. I'm going to try the build where I'm going to run 4 of each of these just to max out on new stuff and have some fun, but you'll see that later on this channel. Next, we have hybrid support. I hate this deck. Red hybrid's so annoying to play against, so unfun. But we're here. Here it is. Flamemon. He has a main effect to tap him to play a red tamer, and then you can tuck this under the tamer. Cool. He has 2k DP. This red hybrid loves just stacking up a bunch of sources, get a billion DP, swing. We have our level 4 Goonie. He digivolve, place a guy from trash or hand under your tamers. So you're going to be like loading up these tamers for your big whatever plays in this deck. And then when attacking, you can digivolve, which is pretty in keeping with how hybrid Digimon work. He's got the inheritable plus 2k. You'll be digivolving up to probably Burning Gray, who gains piercing and DP when he digivolves or plays. I don't know when you're going to play this, but whatever. And when your opponent's security stack is removed, you can digivolve up into a level 5 for reduced cost. So you'll, go a Goonie swing, go into Burning Gray, and then go into your level 5. Oh, wow. So he reduces cost for digivolving if you're digivolving from one of your guys, which you are. So he's going to effectively cost 2 if you go up through the Burning Gray method. He has Sec plus 1 and on deletion, play Tamer. Gray, on deletion, play Tamer. Cool, pretty nice effect. I don't know if it's like the best thing for this deck, but it seems good enough, right? It's like, okay, that's some new cards to play with. Now, this is the first tamer, I think, that is good that we've looked at so far, where it's like, maybe this is worth an SR. So, start of your main phase. One of your Digimon or tamers may digivolve into a card for reduced cost for each of your red tamers you have in play. So, start of your turn, you can usually digivolve for free, which is really good. Ooh, and then his inheritable, when your opponent's security stack is removed, you may play a red tamer. So you're getting more tamers. I think that's an SR. That's ooh, let me go back to red hybrid and try this card out. And then we have a spirit evolution, exclamation point. You can trash 1 card, draw 2. Pretty strong, right? That's a really strong effect. Then it's delay. When any of your tamers are played, you will digivolve for free. Ooh, that's pretty strong. And then his security, play tamer, and add this to hand. Ooh, that is really good. I think Red Hybrid has a decent shot to do more. I know they just got rid of or hit him with the old Banhammer, one of the Yagunimons, the promo one. So we'll see if this helps. I think these cards look pretty strong, but again, this is not a deck I'm super familiar with. Now, here we go, Shoutmon. A deck that was once a terror for like a week and has been left, wiping its own ass ever since, just doing nothing. Its rookie can reduce Digivolve cost by 1. Great. The deck that wants to Digivolve a lot. Crossheart. Good for you, Shoutmon. It got save. He's got the Shoutmon inheritable of give your stack rush. Okay. I guess we're Digivolving into King version, who has Raiden Piercing. Pretty strong. but he's just a little 5k guy. So is it that strong? But when he gets deleted, you can load up under your tamers. Cool. I guess, right? I guess that's that. I guess that's. I mean, that's what the cards do. We have Omni Shoutmon, who you did you cross for 2 on top of a Shoutmon, so you're playing him for 6. Okay, cool. End of attack, you can play a traded card for reduced cost of 5, and if you did delete him, on deletion, you save, and then save one from trash. And then his Inheritable Rush, cool. Doesn't seem that good. Shoutmon DX, Sec +1, so that's pretty good. He's treated as other guys in the name, which helps for all your Digicrossing shenanigans. But I don't know. You have to Digicross into this guy, or Digivolve onto, I don't know, whatever. He's got weird Digivolve. He can Digivolve off Z-Greymon, which we don't have, or level 5. Great. Why not just have a Digivolve thing? Whatever. Who cares? On play, when Digivolving, pop. Okay, pop allow. That's pretty alright. Then when this Digimon will leave, you may place 4, which is a pretty strong load up effect. That's fine, I guess. And then your big level 7 superior mode Shoutmon. What's he superior to? Not much. When Digivolving or on play, you trash 10 cards from one of your guys' stacks. When your opponent's stack, great. One guy gets, just say remove all of the cards, I guess, at that point. 10, whatever. Who's going to have more than 10? Then when attacking, you can return one of your opponent's Digimon with no sources to the bottom of the deck. And he Digicrosses for infinity as long as you have different cards. Pretty whelming. We have a Taiki who you start a turn, place a guy under, draw, and gain. Pretty strong, actually. And then when any of your Digimon Digivolve or played, so if you're crossing or Digivolve, suspend this tamer, one of them may attack. That is pretty strong. I don't like this deck. I think it's not good, and it hasn't been good, and they keep giving it bad support. I don't really think much of this is good. I think this, he's alright. I like this card. I think it's pretty strong. And then we have the option, can't turn my back. Okay, place all of your Digimon cards under one of your tamers. Then you may play a Digimon with the reduced cost for each Digimon played. So you're going to be doing weird combo plays. I'm sure this is good. I know it in my heart. I just don't know too many cross art plays. So, but I'm sure this is a good card. And its security effect, you can play a traded card for 5 cost or less from hand or trash. Okay, right? Okay. This seems like it should be good. I don't know. Cross is not doing much, in my opinion. I think the Tamer is great, but again, it's taking up an SR slot. Maybe this one's worth it. Who knows? We have an underwhelming deck. Vmon, they want you to play armor. Great. None of these cards will be played unless you're gonna be that guy who's gonna play armors. This Vmon reduces cost going into an armor by 1, and he gets plus 2k. Great. Flame Dramon, a card you'll never see played. When Digivolve, you get 2k, and when his attack target changes, he doesn't have raid or collision or anything to make your attack target change. So this is only if your opponent blocks, he unsuspends. Great. Wonderful. That's going to happen a lot. A card that might be played in other decks, Magnamon, when he Digivolves, you unsuspend. Ooh, like that. And then give minus 2k for each armor in your trash. Not as cool. But it could be good in the Magnamon deck specifically. Or you could play this in Royal Knights. He does have blocker like most Magnamons do. So, Lydramon, when Digivolving, you can give something, or you tap something, and then give this 2k. This might get played in Imperial, probably not in this weird armor deck. Maybe, right? I just feel like armor as a concept has just been homogenized into Magnamon. So why would you play these in this deck? When you could just play fucking 16, 18 billion Magnamons and then go into Magnamon X and just be the most fun guy at a party, right? You're like, oh man, I love going into Magnamon X. That's what I do. It's like, wow, I bet you're great. I bet you're a fun guy or girl. Our SR Tamer here, if they have a Digimon gain a memory, and then by tapping this, when you get like armor purged or de-digivolved, you can draw one and gain a memory. Okay, great, cool. That's so. I don't know. So you have to. Okay, this one isn't the one that activates when it gets trashed. This one is trashing, so you'll do your checks, trash, gain a memory, draw one. I guess. I guess it's for this armor rush style deck that hasn't been very viable in like decades, but whatever. And then it has an option card that is pretty strong. It's a search, grab a tamer and a free card. Then it has a delay effect of when your armor is trashed, digivolve into one for free. Now this is pretty strong, especially for like Magnamon decks. Now I can see if you have both of these cards, this Davis being good, but for the most part, you will just be trashing one. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe this armor deck's gonna blow my ass out, and I'm gonna be eating my own words. But I just think this is like, who's this for? These cards might be picked apart and played in other decks, but you're not playing the armor Vmon deck in your little anime pro tag. Like, I'm gonna be Davis. I don't think you're doing that. Hunters. Hunters is a deck I love to play. I didn't know any of these Hunters Digimon before the card game. I saw they had a TV show, and I'm like, okay, cool, good for them. But I played it. I loved the deck back when it came out, and am whelmed by the support. it's We have an on play. This Gumdramon's all right. You trash a card, draw two, and then he has save. Gives generic 2k DP. Fine, right? He's a good draw. Yeah, I like drawing cards. You don't mind putting shit in trash in the Hunter's deck. A Restordramon, he's really good. I think he's the best piece of support along with the Tamer, which is actually pretty strong in this deck, where you can play a Tamer card. Wow, great. Just play one. There's no restriction on that. No, if you have this many Tamers, just play one, and then on deletion save. Pretty strong. He gives 2 KDP. He doesn't give rush like the other one, which is eh. I like that he does have the Digicross, so you can play him for 4, right? Which is pretty strong. Play him, play with the Tamer. Good opening hand. But he is pretty strong. I think just playing Tamers is what Hunters loves to do. So him just being generically able to play a Tamer is really good. Then we have our new Superior mode. Superior to what, I might ask? He has Raid Piercing, pretty good. These keywords go together like peanut butter and, something that goes good with peanut butter. And when digivolving, attack without suspending. Okay, it's like kind of, if you squint, it's like Superior mode. And he has like no removal. Then he gets DP for each Digievolution card. So he's gonna be pretty big in Raid and Pierce. So he's all right, right? You were gonna play this card in the deck for sure. I just don't know if he's like the strongest. He's nice. He's another card that you can play. Now the Tigeru, he is a great tamer. He's dual colored, which helps for the deck actually. He gets to start of turn, place a card under, and draw one, gain one memory. Amazing, right? You're gonna play 4 of this in the deck. It's lovely. This is exactly what you want. This is an SR tamer. And then he has the generic Hunter's effect of when your guys Digivolve tap to slot cards under and reduce that cost. Great tamer. This is super good for the deck. You play 4 of this, so nice. And we have a new option that you will play maybe 1 or 2 of, where you can place a save guy under tamers, then one of your Digimon may Digivolve. Specifically in the trash. So it's like accessing stuff from the trash, pretty nice. It's sec effect. You can play a guy with 5 costs or less, and then add this to hand. Pretty alright. I just don't like Hunters is already a deck that has a billion different cards in it. I don't know if this is gonna like blow the deck apart and be the next big combo piece, but it might. Hunters, while it doesn't have a lot of cards, I think they do help the deck, and you might see it at your locals. Gilamon support. Huh? I guess we did just get Gallantmon support, so this is more interesting than just doing more Gallantmon support for Takato. But we have our Guilmon, on deletion gain 1 memory. Oop, love that. 2 on deletion gain a memory is pretty good. But he's an on play, Trash a card, draw 2. Like drawing 2 cards. We have our Growlmon, who on play did when Digivolving, pop a 4 cost or less. If you didn't, mill 2 cards from your deck, not your opponent, so you're milling yourself with these cards. Fine, and he has that gain memory, like I said. Pretty alright. War Growlmon, you're milling 2 cards, then he gains Raid and Retail, and when attacking, this Digimon can go up again into Megidra or Chaos Gallant, and then for every 10 in both players' trash, reduce the cost by 1. So, you know, if you got 20, you're reducing that cost by 2, because if you notice, Megidra cost a fucking bunch to go into. 4. So what's the Megidra do? Is he worth it? Kinda. Right, so you want attacking, warp up into him. He has Sec Attack, great. End of attack, kill all Digimon. Pretty funny effect. And then on deletion, you play a Guilmon or Growlmon for the cost, or without paying the cost, in blah blah blah. For every 10 in trash, add 2 to this play cost. So you're starting with 3. You know, if you have 10, you can play the Growlmon, etc., etc. Pretty alright, if you ask me. I don't know if this will make the mill deck relevant, but if you want to play it, like, this is a fun new line of Digimon to play around with. I really do like delete all Digimon. That's really funny, especially if you're playing anything that has many Digimon, or you're playing the new armor deck that Bandai thinks is going to sweep locals, and you cry because you delete their Vmon armors, and they just go back to Vmons. And then you have Takato. When, you know, he gained memory start a turn. Cool. When your guys are deleted, or no, when any of your Digimon are played, by suspending this tamer, one of your Digimon, blah blah blah, gets blocker. Okay. Okay. Right? Okay. That's not great, I guess. I don't know. To me, that doesn't read as great. But this kind of does. While you have a tamer, ignore color, whatever. Draw and trash one. You could just generically play this in purple decks. Just draw and trash one. Ooh, I like doing that. And then it has a delay effect. When a Digimon is deleted, you can play a Guilmon or Growlmon without paying the cost. Or no, one of your Digimon. Never mind, I read this wrong the first time. You may Digivolve. Oh, this card sucks. This card sucks. So you're gonna, delete, play a guy, and then Digivolve, which is fine. I guess it is fine for this deck, but I thought this would be more generic, and you could just play a Guilmon. But no, I totally misread this. Fine card, though. And then security, gain 1 memory. Ooh. Right, so for the mill deck, this, I think, is pretty strong. This card is pretty strong. The rest, you probably play him, but I don't know. Will this make mill relevant? Probably not. Then, one of our last main things, before we just get to little tids and bits that are left over, adventure. So the adventure deck is your nostalgia bait deck that all of the cards actually just come in the starter deck, and you get a little bit here. So make sure you buy 2 of each starter deck so you can get all the cards. And then hopefully you'll get this new secret rare tie. Like, okay. But it's a multicolored soup deck that you're wanking Adventure Season 1, which, hey, that's what I watched as a kid, so I buy, probably. Greymon. Play a tamer. Just kidding. He's a level 4 that doesn't say play a tamer. He's saying if you have a tamer, give one of your opponents attack, which, you kind of want to do because this deck is... the main gimmick of this deck is play level 5s, get into level 5s, and have ace targets, or like alliance level 5s, which is alright. I don't think it's going to set the world on fire, but sure, if you like these guys, play them. Then he gives Reboot, the Metal Greymon, the titular Metal Greymon on the cover of the set, for every 2 tamer colors, Digivolve, pretty strong. And then he has the generic Adventure level 5 effect of when other Digimon are played or Digivolve, Alliance and then swing. Okay. That's like the main gimmick of the deck, is you'll have 1 stack, and then you play another guy, and then you just swing, even if you're passing turn. And he gives Alliance as his inherit. The Gurumon has a security effect coming out, and then on play, you may return something from trash to hand. Pretty good. I think, a little better than the Greymon. And then he's got the one attacking, draw one, trash one. That's lovely. We have the Weregreymon. I'm skipping Skull Greymon for a second, who has the generic Alliance effect. And then his on play when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's 4 cost or lower. For every 2 cards, add a, every 2 color tamer, add a thing. Add a 1 to the level. So, he can delete level 5s pretty consistently. Level 6s maybe. Level 7s if you're, if you got everything. And then we have the Skull Greymon, who on play when digivolving, raid retail. And then his on deletion, play 4 cost or less, which includes all the tamers. This deck's going to struggle because it has no way besides this to play tamers. He has the inherited play 4 cost or less. So the deck wants you to have a bunch of tamers with no effects to really play them tamers. So that's, I feel like it's either limiting the deck or waiting to add more cards, who knows. And then the super secret rare tie. Memory setter, when one of your Digimon attacks, tap draw one. That's already pretty good. And then main, so anytime during your turn, you can play an adventure, guy, or hero, I guess, right? They all say hero, like you're going to do that. For 2 cost. For every color, add 1. So you're going to, the gimmick of the deck, having a bunch of tamers with different colors, play out your, I'm guessing you're going to want 7 cost to play out your level 5s, and then Taiki goes away to the bottom of the deck. So you are deleting this tamer practically, but less. It's like worse than deletion because it's going away for pretty much ever to play 1 level 5 once. Is this worth a secret rare slot? Maybe. I feel like this is really strong. I feel like it's an annoying secret rare. It's another secret rare you need 4 of. So buy them boxes. But, I mean, admittedly, it is a strong effect. Because you can, theoretically, if you have a lot of tamers, because they all have different colors, play these level 5s pretty consistently. But, I don't know. The cost of getting rid of the tamer means you're going to need 4 of these. And you're going to want to keep doing it. It just seems like a lot of setup is needed for this deck to start doing things, which it's probably not going to get that time. And finally, we have miscellaneous bullshit. We have 2 Liberator rookies that do the exact same thing. End of attack, gain 1 memory. On deletion, gain 1 memory. So a gain 1 memory inheritable. And then they have the reduced cost Digivolve effect of when it's your turn, these guys can Digivolve into Archetype for reduced cost of 1. So, I mean, they're strong, right? You will be playing these in these decks. Aquatic is not a deck you will be playing because you don't want to suffer, unless you do, Cool. Ghosts, I think, are a little bit stronger, have more legs, so I feel like you'll see more of this card in more Ghost decks than you will see Aquatic decks. And then, finally, we have more Examon support, Examon X Antibody support, which I love Examon. This is really weird that it's getting these, but these cards are both very strong. So, cool. We have our Dracomon X, when Digivolving, start of main, so you can do this, if you have him raising, bring him out. You can Digivolve into a Quadramon without paying the cost. Crazy. Ooh. End of turn DNA. Also pretty crazy. Great rookie. Oh my god. Automatic 4 of in the deck. And then Examon himself, Examon X. X gonna give it to you. Piercing, blocker, evade. Examon does love keyword soup. When Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon and Tamers, then delete one of their suspended things. Then all turns, when this Digimon suspends, it unsuspends, and then if Examon or X anybody is in sources, trash your opponent's top security. Pretty strong indeed. I think these 2 cards alone will make you see Examon more. I'm really excited for these 2 cards. Right? Not a lot of excitement in this set. If we were just going back to the set itself, I think they're trying to please all the anime fans, give you all your anime tamers, all the characters you know, but it's it's not the Tamermon card game, it's Digimon. So to me, when wasting all these slots on where you usually put the most impactful cards on tamers, you're kind of watering down this set when you're trying to appeal to anime fans. So I don't know. To me, this set's pretty underwhelming. There's a couple cool things. I think the 2 Liberator decks that get full lines are pretty interesting. I think Atmon and their debut into the Digimon card game is interesting. If you like that, I think I will definitely try the deck out. But I don't know. Here's me complaining, like, oh, there's a couple decks I'd like to play, right? I guess, but still, I just think you see all these tabs of Digimon in like chunks of support that are for just old decks that, and they're not good support. Like some of them are. I think the Shangreymon support pretty strong, but most of them are pretty like whelming. It's like, okay, this is whatever, but that's BT-21. This has been a big chunk of time going into this set. Hopefully, this helps you look at the set, make your decision on if you want to go in on this or not. I would say, you always want to buy some packs, of course. Yeah. What if you pull the super cool SP $100 cards, right? That's why you buy packs, to gamble. I definitely promote not gambling, buy the singles, because they're probably going to be pretty cheap. But you can, and hopefully, if you buy this, you pull well. Hopefully, I'll be getting some of this that I can open here on the channel, and I'll definitely be at least doing some deck profiles for the new things I'm excited for in this deck, like Musketeers, probably the Liberator decks, Examon, all that sort of stuff will be showing up. So thank you for sticking with me with this deck profile. Leave a comment of what you're excited for. What do you want to play in this new set? Prove me wrong. Prove that this set's actually more exciting and I'm just cynical and hate the anime. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Please like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, because I've been your Blue Raspberry Gamer and you've been the listeners. Thank you.